Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, July 10th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, we will be looking at here to start things off right up there, PLUG. Very, very impressive day and big explosion. Got to think a lot of people will be watching this one here as we head into Thursday. So let's get some of these key levels mapped out here. So the first level, and this is what I would call the ideal level. I'm going to say, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest moving forward? And that would be if the price could stay up here above $1.70. Now, don't get me wrong. If the price falls below $1.70, that does not mean the entire chart's destroyed or ruined or anything like that. But if the price could stay above that area, that would definitely be a great sign of power moving forward. Now, taking a step back and looking at things from the bigger picture point of view, that is where the purple line here comes into play, the 50-period moving average. Keyword there being moving. So as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. So from an overarching standpoint, as long as the price stays above that line, as the line itself moves higher and higher, then by default, the overall trend is in the upwards direction. Because again, in order to stay above that line, the price itself is going to need to build higher lows, which is what building trends is all about. So again, yes, best case scenario, staying right there above the $1.70 mark would be fantastic. But from the big picture point of view, as long as the price is above that purple line, the bulls 100% own the chart. In terms of areas of resistance, let's change this to red for resistance. Nothing fancy here. No need to overcomplicate it. Just ask the question, where did the party stop today? And that was right up there at $1.85. So like I said, no fancy logic other than just simply where did the party stop for the bulls? Right there at $1.85. So that'll be the key battleground here moving into Thursday. But all in all, definitely a great day. Next one here, NCNA, and there's no need to beat around the bush. This is definitely a very ugly looking chart when you just stop and think about how the day started off so strong, huge move up, and then a nasty, nasty, brutal pullback. But this is also what makes this an interesting scenario, at least in my opinion, moving into Thursday. And that is where this big, nasty pullback is all of a sudden started to go sideways, which is right here, slightly above that purple line, which I just talked about, and hopefully you remember is that 50-period simple moving average. And hopefully this is not shocking to you. In fact, if you're, even have a basic understanding of charts, I'm sure you've heard of the 50-period moving average, and that when the price is above it, it does tend to act as support. Keyword there being tends, doesn't guarantee to happen. But my point here is that this now becomes a very interesting scenario where maybe, just maybe, this is some sort of bottoming out, and maybe, just maybe, there is going to be some sort of bounce back up in the upward direction. So is that guaranteed to happen? No. Is it a valid question to throw out there? Absolutely. So like I said, given the fact that this was such a nasty pullback and all of a sudden starting to go sideways at that purple line, will it find some buyers here? Seemingly right now it has found some buyers that are at least having it go sideways, supporting the price, but can enough buyers show up to get this thing to curl back upwards? Grab your popcorn for Thursday. Next one here, BBAI, and overall the chart is still doing just fine as I squeeze things out. You can see that the trend is still very much so in the upwards direction, but also to be fair and to try to keep things as objective as possible, the past couple of days have been rough. I mean, I think that not that long ago the price was up here, and all of a sudden the price has worked its way all the way down there. Again, big picture wise, that's not destroying anything, but in the near term, that this has definitely started to become a very deeper pullback. And another way to look at that is, once again, going back to our friend the purple line, which is the 50-period moving average. Today is the first day in a very, very long time where the price is actually broken down below the purple line. Again, that does not destroy the chart, but it does bring a little bit of a red flag of, okay, are the bulls finally losing control? Are the bears gaining more control? So the sooner the price can get back above that purple line, the better. So that will definitely be the main area of resistance in the near term moving forward. Again, any sort of bounce, it's going to, I think probably be a challenge to get back above the purple line, but that'll be the key level to watch nonetheless moving forward in terms of level. And then, yes, you still have 825 up here, but 825, relatively kind of pointless to talk too much about, given the price needs to first get up above that purple line there. In regards to areas of support and where the buyers are hanging out at, as of right now, it seems as though the buyer stepped in quite a bit right here around the $7 mark. So keep a close eye on that. And if the price breaks down through 7, then at that point you could realistically see the price headed down to maybe 625, if not even lower. But again, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, because so far so good. The price is indeed holding above that $7 mark. Next one here, EVOK, quite the mover today, and I think some very well-defined levels. So let's first just start off with this area of resistance and maybe give or take a little bit. I wouldn't, push back too much, but I'm just trying to find kind of a middle ground right up here around $8.50. So yes, I'm aware that there's a couple times where the price went up above that area, but there are also several times where the price didn't quite hit that level. So like I said, just trying to find the middle ground, and I'm going to just personally call it $8.50 as that key area of resistance. And then at the same time, while that is going on, we have an area of support right here via this trend line right there. And then this ultimately gives us the ability to draw an overarching pattern. And if you watch past videos, you've heard this pattern before, but let's keep it one color to hopefully make it easier to see. We have our area of resistance. We have an area of support. We have the big explosive move right here. And then if you golfers out there try to make it a little bit more visual for you, put the golf hole down here. We have ourselves a bull pennant pattern. Just because something's a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to come up here and break up through there. But again, is it a valid question to throw out there as a possibility? Absolutely. So if you like bull pennant patterns, like this price range down below $10, keep an eye on it. Next one, CLDI, and another one of these it's looking pretty rough. Again, big picture-wise, the chart's hanging in there, but when you stop and just think about the fact that there were some people today that were buying up around here, buying right there, and then to have the price all the way down here, hopefully those people are using some stop losses. If not, they're just not having a good day. But I'm going to take a look at this more so from the vantage point of maybe somebody's not quite in it yet. So yeah, there's been a bigger pullback, but you still got to give credit where credit's due. Where the price is even right now compared to where it was, it is still at a higher level. So we'll see if this can try to curl itself back upwards. And right now the price does seemingly be trying to stabilize right here. There we go. At this level around the 71 cent mark. So 71 cents you can see acted as support, generally speaking, there, and then it's kind of where the price is finding some buyers for now. If this level cannot hold up, then I would definitely call the must-hold level down there, that purple line, which you, again, know as that 50-period moving average. If the price does try to curl back upwards, key level to watch from more so a trend line standpoint is going to be that area right there. So keep an eye on that if the price does try to bounce. But yeah, right now things are looking pretty shaky, but we'll see if the bulls have something in store for Thursday. I wanted to quick take a break and just give something to those of you as another choice out there, especially for those of you that are finding the pattern day trader rule quite the challenge. You don't have as many day trades as you'd like. Maybe you want to be a day trader and have unlimited trades, but you don't have the $25,000. But there is something available out there where there is no pattern day trading rule, and you can also trade 23 hours a day, 6 days a week, and you can get yourself $50K in buying power for only $102. I know that probably sounds all pretty sketchy, but just go to the link there that you see, or I'll put it down below. And if you use code CLAY at checkout, this is all a very real possibility. It's exactly what I'm doing, what I've been doing now for several months, and I've made money with it. It's all legit. So although maybe it sounds a little, it's not, and I'm, like I said, willing to vouch for it and put my name by it. So if you are somebody that is frustrated by the pattern day trader rule, that is sick and tired of not being able to day trade as much as you want every single day, then like I said, check out that link and use code CLAY and get started, and you could literally become a day trader today. Next one here, NVDA, and just an absolutely monster move. I think today I saw a headline that it's the first company ever to hit a $4 trillion valuation. So yes, definitely a big move up. Got the break up to this level, which if you've been watching past videos, you know that 160 mark has been a challenge. So I'll go ahead and get rid of that as it served its purpose. And now we're just simply looking at another one of the patterns that I've talked about already, another bull pennant pattern. So let's get this mapped into play. There is our area of resistance. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. There is our area of support. And then just because I can't help myself, let's just keep it all one color. So we have our area of resistance, support, nice move up right there. I mean, this is just a textbook bull pennant pattern. So if you like bull pennants, then certainly keep an eye on NVIDIA into Thursday. Next one here, SUGP. And this is one that I really like, these situations where you have a very, very nice move, and then all of a sudden you get a situation where things are looking pretty rough, pretty bad, but then all of a sudden things kind of level out, and then you even get a little bit of an upwards movement in the bullish direction. Now, just because that's all occurring does not mean for sure guaranteed it's going to continue, but it just creates an interesting scenario where things were looking great, then looking terrible, and now they're starting to look very, very decent again. So it becomes one of those potential revisits to highs, if not even going higher. So let's map out the key level, and in my opinion is kind of the top part of this little consolidation right here at about $1.44. At the same time, you have this area of resistance at $1.44. You also have the lower trend line down here working its way upwards. So you basically have a bit of an ascending triangle pattern here that is formed, and where you have top part of the pattern right here, bottom part right there, and it's just a question now of can the price kind of consolidate enough and then eventually get the break to the upside. But all in all, if you like this price range, you like ascending triangles, keep an eye on it. Next one, PROK. Talked about this yesterday, and a tricky one to talk about because it is all about perspective. I totally understand if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 7 seconds, well then yes, from that standpoint, the chart is an absolute train wreck. But from the big picture point of view, assuming you care about the overall scope of things, even with the bigger pullback here, price still has plenty of opportunity to build a higher base, and that's what it's all about from an uptrend, construction standpoint, just where are the lows at. And as of right now, the price is essentially leveled out right here at the $4 mark, and then you look at the bottom part of that little consolidation, you look at the bottom part of that consolidation, and then you look at where the gap up low was. Then if you envision each of these as stair-steps, you're probably getting the idea. These are still very clearly stair-steps progressing in the upwards direction. So yes, again, just to reiterate, I'm well aware, day trader, flipper, scalpers that were buying up here, you don't care about any of these stair-steps, but that's why I'm trying to make this distinction that I'm talking about more so from an overall standpoint. So moving forward, I would definitely say $4, key area of support, because at least that keeps these stair-steps intact. And then if the price does try to curl back upwards, key area of initial resistance at least seems to be right there around $5.25. Next one, WOLF, Wolf, and overall the chart is doing fine. You can see it's the price as it sits right now at this level is still very, very, very much so higher than where it was right here. But also just to keep things realistic and clear, this has become a pretty big pullback, and now the price has also entered into a more interesting territory because it is now down below that purple line, which it's been a while, definitely a few days since the price has been down below that area. So in my mind now, it just becomes a question of, is this a leading indicator to even more downwards pressure? The further the price comes down through here, the more and more, kind of credible it becomes to those making the claim that the uptrend's over and that the bears are taking back over control. So am I willing to say right now that the bears are back in control? I'm not willing to say that because overall the trend still has plenty of opportunity to build a higher base. But yes, the further the price does separate down to the purple line, assuming that occurs, that is kind of like evidence building against the bull still being in control. If the price does try to curl back upwards, key area of resistance right there at about $2.32. So yeah, not the greatest to see it down below that purple line, but it's still well within the range of it, so we'll see if the price can try to maneuver itself back upwards. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and overall, chart had a fine day. Not a good day, not a bad day, and this will mean a little bit more if you've watched past videos, but if you have, then hopefully you remember me saying how the importance of it staying up above 295.60, because if the price were to come down here and then separate, at that point that's putting the price right back inside of this range where it already was. And yeah, it spent quite a bit of time today down below, kind of falling back inside of that level, but also it did have a strong enough afternoon where the price has been able to get pushed back above that 295.60, 295.50 area. And, preferably speaking, you definitely want to see the price stay above there. Again, just for the simple reasoning of if the price were to come down here, then you all of a sudden put the price, like I said, right back inside of that range right there. And assuming the price does stay above here and starts to work its way back upwards, public enemy number one that everybody and their brothers, uncles got to be watching, you'd think from the resistance standpoint, all about that purple line, which is that 50-period moving average. You can see that very recently the price got right up around that area and then got smacked right down from it. So like I said, if the price does try to bounce back upwards, all eyes on that 50-period moving average as the key battleground. So that wraps up the top 10 list. And again, just to offer you up another choice if you are finding the pattern day trading rule a very big annoyance, is to check out claytrader.com/take profit, or like I said, just check out the link down below the video. Go there and learn more about what's being offered. Use code CLAY at checkout, and you will literally be able to be a day trader, make as many day trades, have an unlimited day trades, and be able to trade 23 days a week. Maybe one day I'll get that right. 23 hours a day, 6 days a week. And like I said, you can get yourself $50K in buying power for just 102. So make sure you check out that link so that you can learn more, and definitely be sure to use code CLAY at checkout so you can get the current promotion. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions or anything, make sure to leave me those down below.